There we go. So this is the TechnoCola podcast, episode 2. Successful second week of actually getting up on time, and we're going to try YouTube. So we'll see how this goes. We're one man down, actually two. We were supposed to have a second person on this week, or a fourth person on this week. One threw out his back, and one forgot dinner. So what are you gonna do? We still have Goro here though. So Goro, go ahead.
Hey guys, I didn't forget dinner.
Yeah, I couldn't forget dinner. Dinner's too important.
So
In any
important.
case, topics of the week. So let's see if you guys like this. But in any case, here we go. TechnoCola podcast episode 2. This week, we discussed the darker side of things. Government shooting lasers from the sky, Pebble in financial trouble, YouTube invading Twitch's borders, and finally, large white rods sticking out of the ground, gyrating vigorously. On an unrelated note, porn on the Oculus Rift. Calm down and take a shower if you need to. This is the TechnoCola podcast episode 2, titled, Let's Keep It Classy, Guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get on into this. First topic that I have down today, if I can get to it, is Death Rays from Above. It's an Ars Technica article titled DARPA Laser Research Boosts Airborne Death Rays, Tiny Laser Scanners. You want to start on this? I don't know if you read into this guy too much.
I read through it. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's definitely on its way. Like from a while ago, I think for a long time people have been like, "Well, why don't you just build a laser like they did in Star Wars and stick it on a plane? Take care of every single problem we have, right?"
Every single problem just by mounting, what was it, like lithium ion batteries to ships and planes.
So, eventually Tesla's gonna have to start making fighter jets, and they put big batteries on it.
See,
it is
here's. Go ahead. You there?
Yeah, no, I was waiting for you to say something.
No, so first of all, Google Hangouts has lags. That probably is going to have to factor into all this. But I was kind of disappointed because the article brought up the use of putting these things on drones. But unfortunately, because drones are apparently our favorite topic on this podcast, they were unsuccessful.
Well, it's not so much that they're unsuccessful. I mean, I'm pretty sure someone out there could build a drone. I think one of the bigger aircraft companies, I think maybe Lockheed, they've got this unmanned helicopter that they've been developing. I think it's been through a couple successful trials recently. You could strap a laser to that, right? I mean, it wouldn't really be a problem, but I think the problem becomes that when you have something like that, suddenly it's not so, how would you say, discreet. Like the whole purpose, of having like a quadrotor, quadcopter, octocopter, it's like something a soldier could carry in a backpack and release and give on-field intel, and suddenly you have a giant death copter. I mean,
Well, even with those, like they're still loud and they still make a lot of noise, right? So it's not like
that's true.
Perfectly quiet.
But it's not.
I don't
It's
know.
not that they're perfectly quiet. But I mean, you have a tiny little thing like, on Amazon and stuff. You see drones that are like the size of your palm, and then you see drones that are the size of like a pickup bed, from a pickup truck, and it's somewhere in there, I bet somebody's designed something that's quieter, of a decent size, and can give you on-field intel. And give it like a decade, they'll probably have laser drones. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. I guess so. I guess I didn't notice this before, but all the technologies that comes out of, or that the government uses, military-wise at least, they're they're originally from private companies. They're not necessarily like military, like born and bred. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I think,
Which is scary. I mean, I don't know. Not that
well,
I have any more trust in the government building lasers,
it's
death
not
pointers, but
it's not that it's not like Amazon is developing, a death satellite, I hope,
right,
you know. But in the old days, yeah, I think like, around the first two world wars and um, you know, the earlier generations of wars, before our time, I guess, it was um it was easier to build stuff yourself just because technology was relatively new. You wanted to keep stuff under wraps, and what better way to keep things quiet and discreet than by building it in your own house. So the
right,
Navy, the Army,
right.
Air Force, they're all developing stuff, and then technology starts rapidly expanding and exploding with new ideas, new technologies, etc. And suddenly it becomes a question of cost. So
Yep,
you're
yep,
not saying, "Oh, I know I can build this, but I just don't want to." It's saying, "I know this is doable. Who is going to do it for me with the least cost to me?" At least in
yeah,
my mind, that's kind of what's happening, which is why all these companies are developing crazy, scary shit.
for sure. And I mean, like the only reason I found out about this, and you can call it me being oblivious or naive or whatever, was there was I forget what company it was, but a recruiting person from a military, not a military, but like a private weapons company came to OSU and was in the computer programming building, just like looking for people that wanted to intern there. And it was weird as hell because they had like models of just rockets next to this like little booth. And I was just like, holy crap, that's I
That's
don't have anything
cool.
against it. I mean, yeah, like do what you got to do, but it was kind of eye opening. Like, wow, like it's just another business, right?
I mean, I know you hear it a lot, kind of cliche saying, but it seems like a lot of time, that's what a war is. It's like
Yeah,
it's business. You have something to take care of, somebody else has something to take care of. It
yeah,
really
yeah.
ends up being who has the most money to take care of their end of business.
Quitting Tony Stark has the bigger stick.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I was reading through this article and just like the amount of power that these beams are going to be able to create and pinpoint is ridiculous. A
Yeah, it was
75 kilowatt laser module creates a beam of 150 to 300 kilowatt tactical laser weapon. Wow.
it's well, I mean, in that end, it's not so much like you think like a doomsday laser, like one big old laser. But what's
Yeah.
interesting is they've started combining multiple little ones. Well, quote unquote little ones.
Right.
They're not little, but they're smaller than the end goal, which is interesting. I
For
kind of want to
sure.
know how they do that, but I think they'd shoot me if I asked. Uh,
Yeah.
it is kind of
I
freaky. It's
mean,
almost. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's almost reminiscent of all that Star Wars stuff that you would read about in history books from the Reagan era. I
That's
think
what that's
Reagan.
what actually I was going to ask you. Well, yeah. Um, but no, specifically, um, Star Wars Death Star. Are we starting the march towards it?
No, that's a silly thing to build. You could build like
You never know.
instead of a death. It's a death moon. Let's be honest. It's a moon. It's not a
It's a
star.
death moon.
It's a death
Yeah,
moon.
not quite
But
that big.
why would you build? It's like saying, should I build one very very big tank with just one cannon that can fly in space, or should I build like I don't know a billion fighter jets? Like, what's the point of
That's
blowing up a
true.
planet? You blew up something you could have had and owned.
Especially especially with that dumb movie catastrophic flaw in the system Death
Yeah.
Star thing.
It's like I hope nobody will find
But
out we have one hole that you can exploit. Oh
I
no, they
know.
found out. Like
Jeez.
what are the odds?
Oh, jeez.
That was,
But
that's always
other
funny.
than just, yeah. And it happens in every movie, too. There's always like one thing where they're like, oh, we just found out about the one weakness that makes everything really easy.
But that's how you keep a movie going, right?
True. That's very true. That's very true. Um, but other than laser specific weapons, I'm thinking Titanfall type. Just military, like privatized. I mean, you play Titanfall, right?
Yeah. And I
So
know what
so
you're talking about.
privatized military. The reason I bring this up, you're getting a exclusive view right now. I just put this up.
Oh my god. Wow. That's actually really
It's
neat.
super. Yeah, it was. I got it on launch day last year, and I had it rolled up in my closet, and I thought, why not? Let's pull it out. But
You know, I
in
really
any
hate
case,
myself for this, but I used to play Xbox 360 a lot, and then I kind of
that's not
stopped
something to
having.
be.
No, no,
That's not
I'm
something to
not.
be like sad about.
No, no, that's not what I'm sad about. That's the intro to the story. That's not the end.
Okay.
No, but I used to play it all a lot, right? Because I didn't have a desktop or a gaming computer or anything like that. And my brother bought me Titanfall, and I
Mm-hmm.
still haven't opened it because he bought me it right when I switched over to PC gaming. So like my Xbox is sitting in my closet, and an unopened copy of Titanfall is sitting right next to it.
For the
And I don't,
360, not the
yeah,
one.
no, and I don't
Okay.
even want to play it anymore because now I'd have to pay for live. It's like why? Why do that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Come to think of it, this is probably a really dumb question. We're getting off topic here, but do games? So you pay for Xbox Live, but you don't have to pay for like PC online. Is that because
Mm,
Xbox Live hosts all the servers, or is that because so they need us to pay for the servers, or like why?
well, that I'm not 100% sure on. I know like you pay
Yeah.
for Xbox Live, but you don't pay for I think what is now the basic version of PlayStation Live or PlayStation Network
Mm,
PSN. And then
yeah. Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things where I think it depends on the company. I don't know
Right.
why PlayStation
Right.
doesn't really charge much money or any at all, if any, and Xbox
I
does. I
think
know
they
that
do now, but
I think there's like a higher tier. I'm not sure.
is there?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
But
See, if Brandon were on, he'd be able to answer this because he has a
yeah.
PlayStation 4.
I mean, we could always Google it, but I mean, that's hard.
That's too much work.
I
Too
don't want to
much
have to open
work.
another tab. But
Yeah,
like for
I'm
PC
tab
gaming,
monstering it up.
as far as online goes, you basically like if you're running through Steam or God forbid Origin or something like that, I'm pretty sure it runs with your purchase. Speaking
Yeah,
of
and I mean, I
gaming,
feel like that's the way to do it.
I am excited. I downloaded Witcher, which I got free with my with from buying my
Graphics card.
CPU. It was a bundle
CPU.
deal with my
Okay.
CPU, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to play it. I
I've
was
heard a lot of
saving it
good
for
things.
tonight. I've heard
Yeah.
really good things, and I ran a PC benchmark today, and I hope it runs well.
You have an NVIDIA card, right? Not an AMD.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, I made sure to go with
Good.
the right choice.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next topic. This one's yours. Wobbly wind
Ah,
energy.
yes.
The
So,
giant gyrating rods in the ground.
all right. So, I mean, last week you Gotham. You searched a lot
Yeah.
of the articles we spoke of from The Verge and from Ars
Right.
Technica. So, afterwards,
Right.
I was still kind of on the Verge website, and I noticed this bladeless wind turbines shake to generate energy. That's the
Yeah.
title of the article. And basically, this company, a startup out of Spain, they're titled Vortex Bladeless. They actually have a pretty neat website. I went to it, and their intro it's kind of neat. If
Yeah.
if anything, I liked watching it. But I was really my interest was piqued. I was really in love with these for like 2 days because one, they look really really nice compared to a bladed wind turbine. I mean,
Right. Right.
it just looks nice in the pictures and stuff they have, which is, I guess, how you sell it to dumb people like me. But the whole premise is that you have a long, or however long you want it, I guess, um, structure, kind of just like a pole, or I don't know what they call it, stem coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
So kind of like take a turbine, a what's it called, a wind turbine, and
Hmm.
just take off the turbine part, so that entire head at the top with the converter and the blades, and you just have the long stem. And basically, the wind will hit this stem and cause it to shake, right? And they use that shake to capture energy from the oscillations. And in
Right.
my mind, it looks pretty cool. You have a field of like 100 of these just wiggling. That's
Right.
pretty neat. But then you start thinking like, wait a minute, hold up, back this up. You want to build, like, it makes sense if you want to build like 50 to 100 foot tall stem or stalk, whatever they call this thing, pillar's a good
Right.
word. But then like you get to the wind turbines that are like truly massive, and
Hmm.
and you're sitting there thinking, how are you going to make something this big and still have it look as good as what you had when it was much smaller? um I'm looking
Is
up this
is
thing.
your issue with it the aesthetic of it or the
No,
performance?
aesthetic wise, like, I'm looking, if you look up, just Google wind turbine comparison, you'll see a chart of like
Right.
different heights of wind turbines, and
Yeah.
they go from 100 foot to all the way to like 400 feet tall, and you're sitting there thinking 400 feet, holy crap, how are you going to build something that is 400 feet tall, designed to capture energy, and still be reducing costs? Because like, while a wind turbine itself is 400 feet, it's structured so that it has a moving head, and that adds that extra height. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
not like the
Right.
stem is going to go to 400 feet. The blade itself is also helping. And then, with this thing, it's going to be this massive stick in the ground, and I'm not as in love with it as I was before after kind of scaling it back to size. But
Yeah.
I don't know. You show me one, and then I'll decide.
Right. I mean, the technological draw to it was just the idea that you can put more of them there.
Hmm.
You lose out on the fact that they generate less energy. I don't remember them saying anything about pricing,
I
because
mean,
I
I
feel
assume
like that would be
I can't hear you.
it, it's probably going to be a pretty big issue with pricing. And have you seen one of these being transported like over the freeway,
I've seen wind
like just
turbines, and it's like just the blade takes up over the length of a semi trailer bed, and you're kind of sitting there like, holy crap.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, size alone, and I mean, you're gonna be saving a lot there. But I mean, I don't I don't know. It's a new technology, so it's going to be more expensive. You're going to run into issues, and I mean, people are probably going to be wondering what these random things are sticking out of the ground because eventually you're going to see a wind turbine and you're going to recognize it. But this just looks like something out of an
alien.
alien invasion movie. Yeah.
I
So
was I would be interested in, I think, further researching vertical wind turbines. So instead of having these massive fans, right?
yeah, yeah,
Blades, they
hmm,
kind of look like those old school lawnmowers with the kind of helical cutting blades turned upright or
yeah,
sideways.
yep, yep, hmm,
And I mean, those have always been aesthetically pleasing to me, much more so than something like this. And I remember a few years ago reading an article. Somebody somewhere on this planet wanted to build an apartment building that was built in kind of stacks.
yeah,
And what it did was you prefabricated each stack. So each level was
Okay.
prefabricated. So you'd buy a level basically. Probably not in
Right.
my price
Right.
range, but an interesting idea. Oh, it was from Popular Science. I read it on on a flight to somewhere. And I was
Gotcha.
and they also went on to say that the building would capture wind energy because it each floor would have some space in between it and would have a mechanism that would allow it to be rotating, right?
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
your apartment would get this kind of 360-degree view of wherever you were living, adding to the appeal and price tag of all that stuff. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but it was interesting, like considering that you've built a building that will actually rotate based on the wind and I don't know, generate electricity or at the very least generate some form of revenue, even if it's in the fact that it's straight up just curb appeal. Uh,
Right. Right.
and it was a really neat idea until you consider what if the winds get too strong and suddenly you're sitting in your living room, like and spinning like you're on a record player or something.
Ragdoll. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they have something to stop that, but that was very interesting to me too.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of it all, obviously we can't be dependent on um, fossil fuels and that type of energy. But then I guess the answer is this a viable alternative? More, I mean, we keep talking about price and aesthetic and whatever, but at the end of the day, is going to be efficient enough to work?
Wind?
But I mean, it looks like this
I don't
wind
think what
in itself
never.
is going to be you're going to lack. Yeah. Um, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe
I agree.
these large things are actually gonna work, but we'll have to see to find out. Looks like a pretty new idea, but we shall see. All right,
Yeah,
we're doing pretty good on time. Like we're actually not too far behind here.
I think we can chalk that up to Brandon not being here. He was the real talker, right?
He really was. Um, but no, we'll see. Before we get into this next one, let me introduce it. It's Pebble, possibly having some monetary issues, but it's pulled from iDownload blog. And last time, I kind of trashed on Apple, right? So this week, I felt that I should make amends. I'm wearing my Apple shirt that is
I
from
can't see it.
the
Your chin,
it's oh
but
no,
I know what
this
you're
is
talking about.
worth
It's
trying
from
again.
the Genius shirt.
It's from the Genius. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's from the Genius bar. So
Oh, somebody's qualified, I
don't
guess.
no, don't ask me how I got this. I never worked there. Don't ask me how I got this.
Did you mug
But
a genius?
in it, I did. That's exactly what happened. I found the back alley and took him for all his iPhones. Um, but in any case, Pebble in financial trouble. So basically, there was news that came out that Pebble was looking for a loan and a line of credit, which makes me sad because I owned both the original Pebble and the Pebble Steel, and they were both great watches, and they were the ones that kicked the wearables market that you're not so fond of into gear, and they're the ones that kind of set the standard for what it should be. So it kind of saddens me that they're looking for help, but I don't know. What do you think?
I'm gonna be honest. I
Okay.
I don't know. I think maybe last week I came across as kind of hating wearables. I don't really
Yeah.
hate wearables. I just don't like them enough yet to buy them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to spend a
Yeah.
lot of money on
Yep.
something I personally will not get a lot of use out of. As far as
Right.
Pebble
Right.
goes, I was I'm not gonna say early adopter, but I was like kind of like early enough adopter, right?
Okay.
So like
Yeah.
I pre-ordered it when it was, out for pre-orders after their Kickstarter campaign, I think, the original,
Right.
and I
Hmm.
didn't want to
Hmm.
wait the 3 months, so then I went off and found somewhere to buy it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was excited. I wore it to work, I wore it to the gym, I charged it properly. I was like, this is gonna make my life so much better. And for a
Yeah.
while it did. For a while it was great. It was like I can see, Bluetooth connecting. I don't have to take my phone out at work and not look like I'm doing anything. I can just change my music from here, all that stuff. And it had some neat apps, and I could
Yeah,
really see
but
it going
instead
somewhere.
you look like you just don't want to be there.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But I mean, my real problem with it was like, I don't know what it was. I think it might have been exposure to sunlight or something like this. But every so often, like my screen would glance out, and it would,
Really?
because it's not like an LCD or anything. It's kind of that
Yeah.
ink display. I forget what it's called.
It's
But
that e-paper thing. Yeah.
yeah, but it was annoying, and I didn't like it. And I was like, you know what I should do? I should go to Pebble's customer service. You know, be like, hey, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it.
It
I
just
went to
was
their
non-existent.
website. I went to their
Yeah.
Kickstarter. I don't know if it just wasn't up and running at that point in time, but for for whatever reason, it wasn't easily accessible, if accessible at all. And
Wow.
so then
Wow.
I grew irksome, and I kept
Hmm.
it for a while. I kind of the screen issue kind of went away by itself. It reappeared over the next month or two a little bit over again. But like after turning
Right.
it off and leaving it by itself for a while, it kind of go back to normal. And I was like, this is
Right.
a great
Right.
watch. It's nice. I like it. I'm gonna return it because I don't think it's finished yet.
So you returned it, got all
Yeah,
your money
I
back.
returned it. Got all my money back because while it was really nice. It looked nice. It was a conversation starter. People at work were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what's that?" Right? Like this college kid, look at him with
Yeah.
all this fancy new technology. Um,
Yeah.
it was really nice, but I'm kind of not surprised to see this article because I really just don't think it was polished enough. And with the
No,
advent
I
of
agree.
yeah, and then with the advent of Google watches, Android watches, I think Asus, Samsung, a lot of them actually have their own version, and they're
Yep.
beautiful in a sense that I don't think this watch can compete with because of its screen. E-ink is
Have
nice,
you
but not compared
have you
to an
seen
LCD.
right? Have you seen their new watch?
The steel?
The Time, Pebble Time.
I have not. I will
Um,
Google it.
it's it's still e-ink, but it's multicolor, and the response rate, the refresh rate, whatever you want to call it, is a lot quicker. So you get actual animations,
Hmm,
and it looks beautiful. It's still e-ink, so
I
you
see
still
it.
get a lot of power savings and whatnot. It was kind of funny. They launched this one on Kickstarter too because they were the ones that actually kind of like started Kickstarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but they launched Pebble Time, and then about I don't know if it was like a day, it might have been a few days, but very shortly after that, they released Pebble Time Steel because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it looks so plastic." The board the bezels are huge. I don't really understand why. Like at least on the Pebble Steel, it
I
made
kind of
sense.
like
Like it
it.
looked nice. Yeah, yeah.
I like that rubber look.
Um,
Hmm.
really,
I mean, I'm looking at their Kickstarter page and
yeah,
as well as on their website, and I agree that the steel looks nice, but for my lifestyle, I mean that plastic one doesn't look too bad to me.
yeah.
Um,
Is you think
Still
that's
though,
assuming it works perfectly, assuming that there's no issues,
perfectly.
that customer support, yeah, the customer support is there, that if you need help, they'll figure it out. Would you buy it?
Do you know how much it's selling for? Let's see. You get one watch for $150. Retail is $200. They want $200 for this thing.
Cheaper than
$200
most Android
retail.
Wear watches.
Uh, and then a Moto 360. Let me just see if I can find it real quick. Goes for
Those are cheap.
$179 on Amazon.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know
Well,
why I wouldn't go with the
you're
Moto.
comparing you're comparing 1 year old technology to brand new technology. The Moto 362, Moto 720, whatever you want to call it, um, should be out soon. People are saying Google I/O, but
Oh, I see it.
does this
Um,
look does this look good to you?
it looks good. But here's my problem now. Here's my new problem.
Mm-hmm.
My second
Mm-hmm.
first world issue. The Pebble time, it looks like a good watch, but first of all, it's still e-ink, which I have a little bit of an issue with when I'm given the option of using an LCD. It's like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't I? Because the other one offers touch. I don't know. Does this one offer touch? I don't think so. Does it?
No.
No. See, the other one
No
offers
buttons.
touch. I mean, why wouldn't I go with
Right.
the swiping motion? I mean, that's basically our entire lives now. Swipe to get information.
Yeah.
I mean, the Moto looks much better because of how small of its bezel there is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Aesthetically speaking, the Moto is going to look better than anything these guys have put out. Even the Moto 1, just because of how thin that bezel is, it looks almost edge to edge. So I
Right.
don't mean to hate on
Right.
Pebble. I like the idea. I think e-ink was very neat when I bought it. I still think it's pretty neat, for Kindles and things that you want to read in bright sunlight. But
Yeah.
to give them
Yeah.
$200, if I had $200 to burn, I might consider it. But
Yeah.
without that, I'm not 100% sold on it. Maybe if I see it in the stores and I really, really like it. It's
Right.
not right now.
I
Not
mean,
from what I'm seeing.
this one has a right, and this one has a microphone now, and they've really like amped it up. I think it's just a matter of seeing. I don't know what is there a launch date listed somewhere. I
I do
didn't
not
see
know.
one.
I don't.
I'm sure that
I
there
don't
is.
see the need for a microphone. I'm not gonna talk like James Bond into my wrist. That's stupid.
For Google now, when you're alone in your room or somewhere not around other people, it's nice to be able to reply with text every once in a while. At least on my 360. But
I don't know. I think
it's
that's personal
nice. It's nice to
preferences.
see. Right. Yeah. But I mean, for me, it's nice to see a thing. I don't have it on.
hmm
It's nice to see it pop up on my wrist and then just be able to say reply and then just talk to it.
You
I
know what
wouldn't
I
do that
will?
in
You know what I will buy? The first one that when it comes out, what I'll try and get. Give me a hollow
Mhm.
watch, something that pops up in 3D. I don't care
Oh,
how big it
jeez.
is. It could take up from my wrist to my elbow. I'll buy that thing.
The Neptune Prime, even that big?
No, 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 bigger. I said wrist to my elbow. Like that thing could
Oh,
look like a
jeez.
sleeve, and I'll wear it.
No. Oh.
Yeah, think about it. Like you're wearing it, you close your sleeve, you put your sleeve over it, and suddenly it's popping up through your sleeve. How cool would that be? Answer:
It,
very,
it,
very cool.
it would be cool. It definitely would be cool. I just don't see myself wearing a technology sleeve. But
Uh huh.
personal
Okay.
preference, right?
Yeah, personal preference. You're wrong, but personal
Oh, well.
preference.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. We should maybe move on.
In any case, yeah. Um, the next one we have the Oculus Rift as the topic. They won't be blocking porn on VR headsets, and I think this is more of like a technicality because they said that they aren't blocking anything, aka they won't be blocking this specifically. But do
First
you
of
want to
all,
start this?
you know what? I'll dive into it. First of all, if you buy an Oculus Rift, you also have to buy an Oculus Rift compatible computer. Which means
Yeah,
if you want to be watching this type of content, happy time
yeah,
content, you're gonna
yeah.
have to have a pretty kick-ass rendering rig because who wants to watch, that kind of stuff in an Oculus Rift and suddenly, everything turns into 8-bit and you're sitting there like, oh wow, what is this? Secondly, if you buy this, if you buy an Oculus Rift and you build a computer that's capable of running it very, very well, and then this is what you use it for, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to know you. What is wrong with you? Like seriously,
Yeah, that's
there's
what.
so much more
That's
you could do.
exactly.
You could be an eagle. You could be flying, and you choose to do something you can
That's
do on your phone. Probably
that's
just what?
that's exactly what I was gonna say. You literally took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna
What
say
is this
you need a great
nonsense?
computer. Yeah, you're going to need a great computer for this. You're going to need. I just
Just
don't know, man. Like, where
I like that.
where does
I
the
like that
roadmap?
Oculus won't block it. That's good. Like a company
Yeah,
that allows you to do whatever you want with their technology. That's pretty good. And I know that like
right.
I'm curious to see how their competitors. I think that Nvidia is releasing one. Something somewhere. But
Yeah, there's a
I'm just
few.
I'm curious to see because like I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a certain clientele out there where this is going to be a very large selling point, and
Yes, it will.
I'm sure some people are gonna be very very happy and think they're
They
gonna
will
be a
be
little
in
less
more than one way.
lonely.
Yeah.
I think it's silly.
Another pretty important thing about this is that when what was the big thing? It was like Blu-ray versus HD DVD
Hmm.
when that standard happened, and even it was CDs, I think, and something else. There was a big
Laser discs.
yeah. The argument was that the porn industry was the one that kicked off that technology because a lot of people apparently want to be able to consume that content. So I'm trying to be very careful with my words here. They're trying to consume that content and they want the next best thing. And because Oculus has the name, when you think VR, what do you think? You think Oculus.
Yeah,
So because they have that branding to them, I think this is a great play. I think this is a fantastic play. Uh,
I agree. It'll
we
certainly
need
give them. We need a code watermelon. I'm gonna call it for people who really really want to consume watermelon in this manner. That's my code word from now on. I think that this is gonna be a huge selling point. Like if you need a new level of watermelon to consume,
wait. Why not just use the word content? Why watermelon?
I could, but it didn't occur to me. Watermelon was the
I
first thing I
said
thought of.
content.
I
I said
wasn't.
content. That's why I said. Oh,
I'm
jeez.
sorry. Fine, we'll use content.
Oh, good. No,
Hold on.
watermelon's better. I agree.
Okay, yeah, there you go. If you
Uh,
want that kind of
um,
watermelon, you're
yeah,
definitely if you're that into watermelon, if that's what you're really about, hardcore
yeah.
watermelon, I see this being a major selling point for you. I just wonder if somebody's
You
gonna
as
have a
in the
job
third
of
person,
testing it
for
out
the record.
at Oculus.
Oh, I
Quality
can't wait
control.
till yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I guess at the end of the day, it's a great idea, and they're putting themselves at the forefront of
Actually, wasn't even sure
watermelon
this. I didn't even know this
consumption.
was an issue. Like
What was?
it wasn't like when I think of Oculus Rift, this isn't what comes to mind like using it for this, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I wasn't even aware that people would consider blocking it or not allow it or allow it for that matter. I just I didn't think
I think,
anybody else thought of
I
it.
think,
It's just like
right.
why?
Well, I mean, Apple did, right?
What?
And I mean, to an extent, so does Google.
What do
They
you mean?
blocking that content.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Eh.
I mean, it's. I
I
think for a
just
company like Oculus, when you're that small, you don't say no to anything. I think as a
so
company, when you're starting off, you don't
any
say no.
port in a storm,
You say fine.
kind of.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, I
Maybe
mean,
they'll give
I
you
think it's
like
a great idea.
a little tag like "Do not disturb" eating watermelon.
Eating.
Like when you're like, because you got this on, nobody knows what you're watching. I think you gotta tell
Doesn't it
people.
show up on the computer?
I
Like
don't know.
it
I don't
shows you
have
your
one.
left and right. I thought it did.
Oh, kind of like
I saw
a.
streamers.
Well, I would assume you could turn that off. That's just unnecessary energy.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you just. I mean, you
Yeah.
not necessarily turn it off from the computer, but just turn your screen off.
Right.
I mean, I don't see
Yeah,
the point of having 2 monitors running when you don't need it.
for sure, for sure. But all right, before we get banned, do you want to introduce this one? We'll change it up.
Yes,
I don't know if you've.
please. Okay, so this next one, it's another article from Ars Technica. It's kind of a battle between Google and Twitch now, or Amazon
Twitch,
rather.
Twitch,
So
Amazon. God, yeah.
Amazon is teaming up to be a huge competitor to other websites just because it keeps, not websites but other companies, because it keeps expanding. But in this
Right.
one, the article title is YouTube Eyes Twitch user base at 60 FPS live streams with HTML playback. Basically, they're just they're trying to sneak people away from Google, and Google's having none of it. Um,
Yeah.
you know, you expect this kind of stuff because I mean Twitch really took off really quickly. People
Hmm.
actually I think really liked it. Um, and yeah, I mean you see the, well, I don't know if you'd call them the two biggest. They probably are, but I don't know enough about streaming to call them that. But for the
Right.
purposes here, you see Amazon and Google kind of like playing tug of war with people, really. Like, we offer this, and Google's like, yeah, well, we offer this and this and that. So everybody's coming back and forth, and I
Yeah.
feel like in the end,
And I mean,
eventually it's just gonna level out.
yeah. Yeah, but here's the killer feature that YouTube has. They store content. It's a repository.
That's
Twitch is
true.
not.
That's very
So
true.
even if you see Twitch streamers now, they'll stream on Twitch and then they'll post on YouTube
Yeah,
because that's where you go for long-term content. Like if you're going to search for a video, that's where you're going to go look. So
that's
I
true.
think if YouTube, if Google Hangouts on air can match what Twitch does, why do you need Twitch anymore?
That's very
They're
true.
they're irrelevant. So this is going to put the pressure on Twitch to either pony up and say, okay, fine, we're going to start offering like a
Storage.
YouTube type long term storage, yeah, or we're gonna tap out. I don't see what they have left. I mean,
They
they have a huge user
Google
base,
might
but
just buy them. Like, seriously, like Google might just be
from
softening
Amazon,
them. Yeah, like Google might just be softening the meat right now until they decide, hey, this isn't worth anything to you because we're so much better. Why don't you just give it to
right,
us and make what little money you can off, quote unquote little money you can off of
right,
it. The point you brought up is really good. I know that Amazon also probably has a lot of how do you say, storage capability with their Prime and stuff. So I wouldn't be
mm-hmm.
surprised if they came back
Oh,
with something like that. But the problem is that when you say, "Hey, do you want to watch this video?" You don't really even have to tell somebody nowadays like, "Go to YouTube and type in these words." Literally, most people, I think, the first thing they would do when you say, "Hey, you should watch this funny cat video. Here's the name," is they'll literally just open up Google and search that, and the first thing you'll
yeah,
hit is YouTube. YouTube
yep,
is a
yep,
household name now. Like babies, babies can use
right,
YouTube to see like their little videos and stuff. Um,
right,
I It's gonna be very difficult to kind of upstart the YouTube brand name. Twitch has a lot of following because it was new.
right,
It's something that people haven't been able to do easily before.
mm-hmm.
So unless
Mm-hmm.
they suddenly say like, "Hey, all of this stuff can be found right here," and then do some heavy marketing to gamers and stuff, YouTube just
Yeah,
has the name. Like I think most gamers who have a worthwhile contribution on YouTube, they have their channels and followers.
right,
They're not gonna ask.
yeah,
I don't know if you're really good. You have what 100,000 followers, 2,000 followers between that number. I guess you're not gonna ask 2,000 people, 3,000 people more to move. Most people are just too
yeah.
lazy.
And at the end of the day, it's convenience, right? I mean, for
Yep.
content creators, it's a matter of, I mean, do I want to stream on a different website? And then what you see a lot of people do is they stream on Twitch and then they post on YouTube saying, "Hey, we're live. Come watch."
Yep.
Do you do that twice? Where are you gonna tell people about this? Like, how are you gonna get the name out?
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
kind of
it's
it's
not
kind
the
of
best
like
way.
what's it? It's kind of like when Facebook and Twitter were kind of having it out, and Facebook's like, yeah, well now you can use hashtags in our statuses and it'll link. And I'm sitting there thinking like, no, I'm not gonna be that guy. Who
Yeah,
uses hashtags in
yeah,
Facebook statuses now? That's stupid.
yeah,
That's what Twitter was for. Twitter was built to be able to
and,
use the hashtag.
yeah.
Now it's just kind of like
And I mean,
everybody does it. It's not special.
right. And I mean, at the time, with what Facebook and Twitter are doing, kind of what YouTube and Twitch are about to do is they competed for where they were in the world. What are you for? And Facebook was for your daily life, or I guess not. It was kind of like an archive of your life, and it still is
Yeah.
today. Twitter is more of a here's what I'm doing right now, and that's all you really care about. Twitter is one of those places where you just every once in a while you quickly scroll through it and you see what's new and then you close it out and you're done for a while. Facebook is kind of where you sit down and get a bag of popcorn and you kind of see what's going on. It's I I know. I mean, that Facebook stalking, right? That's where it all came out of.
Uh,
Facebook has that long term pull to it versus Twitter is by definition 140 characters or less, 160 characters, whatever it is.
I think it's 40.
Um,
No, you're right. Yeah, I think you're pretty much spot on. Like I opened up Twitter earlier this week after about like what 2-3 months just to
Jeez.
see what was on because like I I have had Twitter for like 5-6 years and I'm pretty sure I haven't gone over 600 tweets. Like like it's just I don't get it. I don't care if people know what I'm doing so
Right.
much so is
Right.
like on Facebook I'll post a photo and be like, "Oh yeah, we had a fun day at Kings Island." And I'll be like, "Because these people who were friends on Facebook were there."
Yeah.
On Twitter it's
Yeah.
like hashtag fun, hashtag I can't tag all my friends.
Yeah.
You know,
And I mean, I have I just passed 300 tweets and I've had it for just about the same amount of time. But I mean, I guess the relationship that I was making was that just like how Facebook and Twitter had to define what they were in the minds of everyone, Twitch is going to have to do the same thing. Are they going to compete with Google, or are they going to say we're going to double down on purely gaming streams and we're going to make it the best experience possible? We're going to make it super easy for you. They have to kind of define where they fall in that and whether or not it's going to be whether or not it's going to work.
I think you're right. Um, it's gonna be interesting seeing what happens. I'm kind of in the boat that eventually they might just die out. But
Yeah.
it depends
Yeah.
on how aggressively Google attacks this.
Mm-hmm.
If Google is saying,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, you guys are already posting these videos to our YouTube account, our YouTube company. Why not just do everything at one time, save yourself some hassle?" It makes a lot more
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly.
I mean, at least to me, and I'm pretty sure anybody who's doing a lot of the streaming stuff to do it directly at the source. But
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is.
I think we'll over the next year for sure we're going to see exactly what each of these sides does to show what to basically buy for content creators. But it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Definitely.
Maybe somebody new will come up.
Oh God. This is again probably me being nostalgic, but I miss the time when you could just go to one place and I don't know. I mean, no, I guess I don't miss that because that's a monopoly, and you're not gonna get a lot of good competition that way. But never mind.
Are
We're
you
just
saying
we're
you
just
miss
gonna leave this out.
MySpace?
No, no, we won't even mention it again. Uh, all right. So we got about 10 minutes left here. So let's get on the last topic. And this one's the wild card topic of the week. And it is the state of 4K. Is it feasible in terms of content, gaming, monitors, pricing? What do you think? I have a
Okay.
little trick.
One of the things I did a lot before I built my, you know, entry-level gaming computer is I
Yeah.
watched a lot of videos on YouTube, um, specifically quite a few from Linus Tech Tips. Um, I mean,
Yep.
they're not like, they're not a sponsor or anything, but I watched their videos a lot. And one
Hmm.
of the few things they did was they covered 4K gaming rigs and things like that. And what I got from
Right.
watching that and then going off and doing my own research on what I would need is that for someone like me, well, yeah, 4K is beautiful, it is just too god dang expensive. Like, you have to buy a 4K monitor. One, there are just not that many readily available
Yeah.
4K monitors. Two, you have to either build a system specifically for it or heavily upgrade, your current system. I'm running a single MSI GTX 960 with 2 gigabytes of onboard RAM. I'm pretty sure
Gigabyte.
gigabytes. I'm pretty sure that thing would just die of fear if I connected a 4K resolution monitor to it. One, it's not going to be able to run it. It's just going to scale everything down. But even if I had four 960s running in quad SLI, it's not going to do it. I have to buy a
Really?
very. I'm pretty
Are,
sure
are you are you specifically talking about gaming or just use?
gaming. If
Good.
I
Okay.
put
Fair
like
enough.
four of my 960s, that's still only 8 gigs. I'm pretty sure there's like a single Titan GTX card out there that I'm
It's
gonna Google
12.
it. Yeah, see,
It's 12 gigs.
and some people are running them in like triple SLI, and they're still not 100% where they want to be, right?
Right.
And that's
Right.
$3,000 or more just on your graphics setup. Then you add another $1,000 if you want to go dual screen, um, high end 4K monitors.
Right.
You have to upgrade your probably upgrade your CPU to at least an i7, which for me at least is another 150. You'd have to probably need more RAM than I have. And if you're gonna be running that, if you're gonna be running three GTX 960s, you might as well be running you know whatever else you might want to
Might as
spend
well.
money
Just keep
on. Might
stacking.
as well. At
Yeah.
that point,
So
it's just too much for me.
so from my point of view, I don't game on my computer. It's more or less browsing or content creation.
Okay.
So I run one 4K monitor. I used to have three at one point, 1080p monitors, and I went to one
Nice.
4K. So technically, I have 25% more load on the thing um, than I did before, and I don't notice one stutter on it. Everything looks fine. If I go to play a game, which I actually did today just to see because I knew that this topic was coming up, I played, oh, I think it was like Black Ops 2. It was Black Ops 2. And I played at 1080p and it was fine. I mean,
Hmm.
I played at 1080p, but I actually don't know how scaling or whatever would work on that, but
I
it
think
ran
you'd
fine. I
find.
mean,
Wait, what are you running again?
it's
Graphics wise.
I never told you guys. It's
No, I
a
remember.
it's a gigabyte. It's a GeForce GTX Gigabyte 780 Ti gigahertz edition. So it was the top of the line 780 Ti.
Yeah. Damn it, Gotham.
Yeah.
Making me
So
jealous.
so before I get into the naming trick, I'm planning on getting a second under 4K, same one. It's a, what is it? It's like a PB 27 something or another. I'll look it up as I stall and talk about what I'm going to do. But essentially, I'm going to be getting a second monitor, and I'm looking or trying to figure out if I'm going to need a second video card to run the thing. Because one, kind of pissed me off. The 7080 Ti only has one display
Yeah.
port out,
Yeah.
which when I realized, I was like, kind of annoying. So I'm looking at getting a second graphics card, not another 7080 Ti, maybe just the cheapest one that I can get that can run a 4K monitor at 60 hertz.
Hmm.
It's a P2715Q. It's a Dell P2715Q. It's a
Okay.
27-inch monitor. It's IPS. It has like a 6 millisecond response time, so not the best for gaming, but it's also sRGB 99, so
That's nice.
pretty good.
I imagine you paid a decent price for that.
Yeah, I'd rather
Yeah.
not discuss it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's why I left it at that. But I mean, see, that's kind of
Yeah,
just that's one of those cost to use benefit ratios.
right,
And I
right.
mean, I assume for content creation, it is really nice to see all your work come out in what is right now the nicest
Yeah,
or cleanest type of viewing. For
right.
me, it's not. I play Counter Strike nowadays. Like I started playing a lot recently, a lot. So not
We
like
should play.
a
Let's play
lot.
after the stream.
We should do that. We'll do that. But I'm learning it. I'm doing okay, I guess. But
Yeah,
I don't think that playing Counter Strike in 4K versus playing it on my 180p, you know, Acer stock model screen is really going to wow me any more than when
yeah,
I pretty much die within the first 2 minutes of every round anyway. So it's not like
yeah.
it's not like
It's not like
I'm
you'd be
gonna get
missing out on much,
so much more use anyway. Although I
right?
will admit, I might come by and steal it for a few days to see if Witcher looks any better.
Just to see.
Like I think
Yeah,
that would
we
be
can do that.
interesting. Or maybe I'll bring
We
my
could do that.
desktop over if your screen's already mounted. Because
It's
that
not mounted yet, but
okay. That I think would be an interesting. Maybe I'll just YouTube it, see what other people are doing, so I
maybe.
don't have to do any work. But the games like those and other AAA titles. At that point, they're pushing 4K, or at least a lot of them will be in the next few years minimum, or
Right.
at the
Yeah,
most.
for sure.
And at that point, it's like if you're really into gaming and it's something you find a lot of enjoyment comes out for your life, why not? Like, I mean, you
Exactly.
only have 10
Exactly.
years until 8K comes out, and suddenly your eyeballs are burning up from how many pixels you have to look at.
Yeah. Speaking of pixels, again, before I get into the naming trick here, um, I sit about a foot and a half away from my monitors. I like to be close. I don't know why. I just do. So
I don't know. Hold on.
um, because because of that, go ahead. Because of that, I had an issue with 1080p monitors because of the fact that because I sit so close, I can see pixels, and a lot of people are going to say you can't see pixels on a 1080p monitor. Well, I could. So sitting this close to a 4K monitor is fantastic because I'm not able to see pixels and everything looks fantastic.
I'm about 35
What's
inches
over here?
away.
Yeah, so
I went
about
and got
30
a tape
feet.
measure. Yeah.
Let me. I've got an engineering ruler here. It's 15
Ooh.
inches. So I'm not going to move my head. I'm just going to do this. 15 is about right here, and I'll keep it still. So I'm at 23. So I'm not 10 feet away
See, for my
at
laptop,
chest level.
I'm 20 inches away. But for my desktop, because I have such a big screen, well,
Yeah,
not big. It's a 24 inch, but it's bigger than a 15-inch laptop
a,
screen.
a laptop. Yeah, but okay. So the naming trick. You hear every day people say 4K isn't 4K. It's only 3840. It's not. It's not 4K. Also, 1080p was the height of the monitors. So you had 1920 by 1080, right? So 4K is 3840 by 2160. For some reason, they had 1920 by 1080. 1080p was the height, and that's what they called it. Same thing with 720p. 1280 by
1280.
720, 720p. Yeah. So now 4K, 3840 by 2160. Why don't we call it 2160? Right? People complain. They're like, that's not 4K. That's 2160p. Why do they call it that? And there was this big thing. And I fell into the trap, and I was like, yeah, like that doesn't make any sense. This is such bad marketing. Why are they calling it 4K? And then I did research, and I found out that because of the gamers in the world, 4K got a bad name, and every marketer that called it 4K was thrown into the hole because they said, no, that's not really 4K. Turns out 4K is a cinema standard. 4K is the resolution, is the aspect ratio. Technically, it's 4096 by 2160. I think that's called 4K DCI, and then that was adapted to fit the 16 by 9 aspect ratio of monitors and computers these days, and it became 3840 by 2160, more commonly known as UHD. So basically, to all the people that want to complain that 4K is 4K, well, they started calling it that because of people like you, because you said, hey, it's not real 4K. Well, 4K sounds a hell of a lot better than 2160p, because when you think about it, if you go into a store and someone says, yeah, like this monitor over here, you get twice the resolution and about 3 times the price, and people are going to say, I'm not going to pay 3 times the price for like twice the resolution, because they're thinking 1080p to 2160p. And then if you say, on the other side, if you say, well, this monitor over here is actually 4 1080p monitors and 1 4K, they're going to say, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, 4 of them for 3 times the price, that's totally worth it. I'm getting a free monitor. And then you understand the marketing behind it. It's not for gamers. This is for
TVs.
media.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why I've never had a problem with it, because when I was introduced to 4K resolution, it wasn't gaming. It was, hey, do you want to spend $10,000 on a 4K TV? And we're like, no.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No, please God, no. Right?
Yeah.
And then, over the years,
Yep.
it becomes cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and everybody's like, oh yeah, 4K is great. And then you get into this PC gaming world where everybody's, sitting in their office chair whining, like, oh, that's not 4K. Yeah. I can count pixels, man. That's not. And it's like, well, it's not for you, so shut up and sit down. Oh wait, you're sitting down. Like, shut up and lay down.
Yeah.
And I don't want to bash
Another
the PC gaming society, but seriously, calm down.
Right. Funny story. There's a professor at Ohio State. His name is Farouk Khan, and maybe I should be saying this out loud, but I'm working with him to develop a product that's coming to market here soon. And one of the biggest things that he said was, yeah, why I can't tell you what the product is, but he said, yeah, this is gonna there's a definite gaming like application for this, but we don't want to go into it, because what gamers are going to do is they're going to pick, they're going to find every tiny little issue that normal people wouldn't even care about, and they're going to publicize the tiny issues that nobody would have noticed anyway, and suddenly you're looking at bad product reviews, because you have nothing wrong with gamers doing it, but you're trying to market towards a certain crowd, so you should market towards a certain crowd.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's kind of like what is it? It's kind of similar to console versus gaming PC. So if you're playing gaming PCs, you're spending, I don't know, $800 to $1,000 maybe on a mid to high tier gaming computer, maybe even more, if you want really nice video gaming. And then you see those same people suddenly bashing on a $400 console, $500 console system, saying, "Oh, well, your frame rates aren't as great as ours. It just hurts. Our hurts are better." And it's like, well, okay, that's fine, but this wasn't for you at all. Like, this is for somebody who's going to sit 15 feet away from their screen. They're not going to be able to see the pixels. right?
Exactly.
And it's like Titanfall
Exactly.
looks great on my Xbox. This looks great on my Xbox. Yeah, well, it looks better on my Well, yeah, of course it looks better on your desktop. You're 2 feet away, or in my
Exactly.
case, 35
Exactly.
inches. I think everything just falls into that where you start nitpicking something that wasn't designed for you. Well, of course, it's not going to meet your
Exactly.
expectations. It was not designed for you.
Yeah.
Um,
And
I
and
don't know.
that's
That's just
that. I guess that's a really important thing to bring up because I guess in my mind I never thought about that. I never fell into the whole PC Master Race thing,
I did
but it
not either.
always did. It did bug me how you spend so much on a console and then you realize that you're not nearly getting as much as you could, but at the same time, it's who are you marketing towards?
Right.
So pretty important thing. One other thing that I wanted to bring up with this 4K thing, which kind of also leads into videography, another thing that I'm going to be getting into on this channel. But in DSLRs, you've for a long time you've had this megapixel race saying how many megapixels can we cram into a camera sensor. Same thing that's happening in phones now. It's I'm not going to say it started to stop, but I mean, you're what, into like 13, 16 megapixel cameras now. And it's like, do you really need that much? A good way to remedy what you're going to call the next monitor standard or resolution standard is to stop going by pixels and start going by megapixels. So a 1080p monitor is 2.1 megapixels. A 1200p monitor, which no one uses, is 2.3 megapixels. So the next real standard up is 1440p, so 3.7 megapixels, and a 2160 monitor, 2160p monitor, 4K UHD is 8.3 megapixels. So going from a 1080p at 2.1 to a 4K at 8.3, you
There's
can
a large
see,
jump.
yeah, and that really puts it in perspective. It really is 4 times as many. That's just my humble opinion,
That's a
because
pretty good
then,
idea.
yeah, and I mean that way you avoid stupid naming schemes like UHD. What does
Yeah.
that mean? What is so we went from HD to full HD to
UHD.
UHD. What's the next one going to be? Extreme HD, EHD?
No, no,
I
it's
don't
gonna be
know.
like
It's
UUHD, ultra high
ultra.
definition.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a simple fix to a problem because you know who MKBHD is on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
MKBHD, his tagline is more pixels. Just give me more pixels, and that's going to happen because people just want. I mean, it's a spec war, right? So
Right.
I feel like to avoid future issues, you call it by the megapixel count, not the not the resolution. But that's my humble opinion. I don't know.
It makes sense. It's certainly less of a mouthful than saying I got
Mm-hmm.
180p megapixel uh, resolution. It's
Did you
like
just say 180 megapixel resolution?
what? I said
What did you say?
180p. Oh yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
1080p?
Yeah. Shut up.
I think you said it a couple of times before, and I just took it off. I just took it to be you didn't really
I
like
probably
maybe you
did.
just for like
I probably just wasn't thinking about it.
yeah yeah 180p.
1080p. That's what
Yeah,
I should have
there we
said.
go.
180p. I mean, it's like an
That's
iPhone from like 2000.
it
It's
wasn't
like the
that bad,
first
was it?
iPhone. Well, I
What
don't
was
know.
the resolution of the first iPhone?
Google it.
Original, yeah. Google has all the
It's
answers.
probably
It's
like
like
480. Maybe 480. 480
it
sounds
was
right.
yeah, it was 320 by 480
Yeah.
HVGA.
That was the shit, too. It was like, holy
480p.
crap.
Yeah. Oh man. The funny thing is, I just Googled original iPhone, and there's an eBay link to where you can buy an original iPhone for $2,000, $2,440.
What?
Yeah,
Holy
it's a
crap.
collector's item. Do you
It's a
have one?
hipster collector's paperweight. Like,
Yeah.
When you're in a coffee shop and your newspapers are blowing around, what do you use? Your old iPhone.
Yeah.
Actually,
Holy
I might go
crap.
house hunting. I have drawers to search through.
Yeah. Oh, did you guys own one at one point?
I don't remember. I really don't.
Interesting.
But holy
There's a
crap.
if there's on Bonanza. I haven't heard of the site, but there's apparently a site called Bonanza, and they have them selling for $6,370.
Jeez,
Somebody could make
what?
bank. That could
That's a
get you a new
semester of
computer.
tuition.
Yeah.
My God, what? You can't even use them anymore effectively.
That's crazy.
Oh my
Is it,
God.
maybe it's just a mislabel. There's another one on eBay for a 4 GB model that's $300. I don't know.
I could
This is
see
crazy.
I could see it maybe like it's like the first iPhone ever, like the first
The first,
iPhone,
or the
like
one
first off the
that
line.
Steve Jobs brought out. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that selling for a lot of money because it's like a nostalgic item, but there were probably like a million iPhones.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't that's just even if I had that
There,
money to
there.
burn, you wouldn't get it from me.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a point in time when I really wanted the original and I wanted to use the original, and I went into an Apple store and was like, if I brought an original iPhone, could I use it? And he said, well, the standard that they used back then, you would have to manually activate it. You couldn't just throw your SIM card into it. And there is one person in the continental US of A that knows how to do that. One man.
What?
And I was like, I want to find this one man and ask him why. Why?
Holy crap.
but but that was not an
That is
Apple store, so
crazy.
who knows how much those people actually know.
I mean, they might have just told everybody that.
They're,
So, like, all these hipsters and, nostalgic collectors are just looking for this one dude who doesn't exist,
yeah,
running in
yeah.
circles.
I don't know. Jeez.
That's crazy.
Who
I mean,
knows?
to pay over, what, $50 for a, 8-year-old, 10-year-old phone?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Well, this week I guess we didn't talk as much about drones. So
Actually, we could remedy that. Because I
okay.
remembered. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we're a little bit over, but
Okay, you know
we
what?
can make something
We'll
happen
save it.
here.
We'll save it for next time.
Okay.
We'll save it for
Yeah,
next time.
next week I think we're gonna start. We're gonna change the stream date to, I'm thinking, Friday. It looks like that might work better. But we'll post that on social media. Quick thing: we had 47 views of episode 1 last time I checked before I got on
Two
the
of them
stream,
were from me.
which is, oh, were they?
Yeah. Two of them were mine, I'll be
I had one
honest.
of them.
Brandon
I
probably
had
had
one of
one.
them, but yeah. But I mean, still, like 47 views in 1 week. That's not bad. That is
That's like
not
almost
bad.
50 people who think we're really, really dumb.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
jeez.
make that number larger this week.
I'm gonna go watch it again. Just because I want to see that for myself.
Just buff the numbers. Yeah. Oh man. But in any case, I'm gonna keep going on this social media thing. Just post everywhere about it. This one will be up on Monday, so officially recorded on the 23rd, and will be up on the 25th of May, 2015. So it's been fun. It's been fun, Goro. Hopefully next week we have a few more people.
Yes. I mean, I think maybe we should be able to swing more people with our growing fan base.
Yeah. I know. At one point I'd like to just post the link out and just have random people pop in.
Oh,
I
that'd
think
be
that'd be
fun.
kind of cool. And I can always eject them if
Yeah.
it's there or any newbies.
Unsavory.
Yeah. But that's about it for the TechnoCola podcast episode 2, recorded live on May 23rd, 2015 in my amazing radio voice. All right, guys. That's about it. Got anything to say, Goro, before we sign off?
No,
You gonna
I
shoot the
think your
camera
radio
again?
voice. Oh yeah. Did it better this time.
Yeah, you did. What about my radio voice?
No, I was like, that's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
But we
Oh,
ruined
geez.
that,
We'll
so.
see. Maybe. All
Alright.
right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.